what are the early signs of deficiency?
If you have no desire to move, that is a sign that there is something wrong.
People are going to bhajan parties and going for coffee raves.
Yeah.
And there's so many run clubs that are coming.
As the fitness industry is booming, so is the injury industry. The funny thing about an injury plan is that you only do it once you get an injury.
Today what I see is protein everywhere.
People don't get enough protein, and because you don't get enough protein, you are going to crave for sugar. You are going to keep making decisions that are going to give you quick pleasure but not results.
Most of us don't have a health problem. We have an information problem. Too many opinions, too much information. Welcome to Hack Your Health. We sit down with experts to break down myths and facts which will help you guide your health. I'm your host Gurmeet Arora and the founder of Flax, and this is Hack Your Health. So we have Maulika Sharma on the show today. She's an combat sport athlete, a sports nutritionist and a fitness trainer for so many people. She's changed about 2,000 people, 2,000 clients she has been trained over the years. Welcome to the show, Maulika.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. I have so much to share.
Okay, why are we doing sir? Because Maulika was the first influencer. That time influencing wasn't even cool or didn't even exist, because we opened Flax, the first outlet inside a gym, and Maulika used to work out there. Our first collaboration. But
I was just happy that I get to eat free Flax. Like, my incentive for that collaboration was just that I get free food. I was, I think, only 18 years when we met. So, so that's why sir comes so naturally.
Yeah, so long journey together. Thank you for being a part of all our Flax's openings and the journey that we've had together. Anybody who has excess energy, firstly they need to find out they have excess energy, and if that's linking to anxiety or any kind of disturbance in their mental health, they would be able to, they should channel it somewhere or the other. And you chose MMA, and let's say anybody else who would have the same problem would do a marathon or would be a fitness trainer. Is that the way it should be? I
truly believe that everybody has energy. Like, movement is essential to human beings, and we all have set number of energy. Now, because of deficiencies, because of a lot of biological issues or blood work issues, you might not be able to have access to that energy, but all human beings have energy that they need to expel. Now, if you don't feel like moving, you don't feel like expelling that energy, there is something that is going inherently wrong inside your body. Which brings me to the point of why doing blood tests is extremely important. Because as a trainer, I've trained so many people, and the foundation is only lacking. And that foundation is good blood work. Now, if you have D3 deficiency, B12 deficiency, hemoglobin deficiency, excess inflammation in your body, you're not going to be in the right frame psychologically and biologically to move, to want to move. So the first thing would be to get your blood reports in place. If you're deficient in anything, don't be deficient, and then you'll see naturally you'll have a desire to move.
I understand. I think it's rightly put. But how do I know? What are the early signs of deficiency? For example, like everyone thinks they're fine.
First would be fatigue. If you're always fatigued, you definitely have a deficiency going on.
You mean tired?
Tired, but if it's chronic, right? If it's chronic tiredness, you're never feeling fresh despite getting enough sleep, despite getting good nutrition. If you still feel like you're not in the best mood, you're always procrastinating, you don't have desire to move, your lack of desire to move says a lot. That's the first sign. Movement is amazing. It's good for your hormonal balance, it's good for your psyche, it's good for everything. So if you deny yourself movement, if you have no desire to move, that is a sign that there is something wrong. We've become very dopamine heavy individuals where we want to do things that give us quick results or quick joy. Like eating junk, scrolling on your phone, vaping, anything that gives you quick pleasure is what we are all opting for as a society, as opposed to doing something that will give us delayed gratification. Now, working out is delayed gratification. It is difficult to do in the moment, but once you finish it, I have personally been working in this industry for the last 9 years. I've never had anyone say they regretted a workout. Even if they whine so much before they start the workout, everyone at the end of the workout is happy. Which is where you have to create a strong foundation in your biology and psychology. Your biology foundation will be making sure you don't have deficiencies, your blood work is in place, And then there's a psychology part of it where you're setting an intention as to what the purpose of your life is and what your intentions are. If your intention is that you want to grow as an individual, you want to be in the best mental health as an individual, you want to be functioning optimally where you can be a source of support, joy to people around you, then you need to get your foundation right, and that foundation is getting a good biology and psychology. Whenever a client gets on board, I ask them what your intentions are, where on your priority list is your health, because if it's not in the top 3, then you're not going to be putting the effort that it takes, because taking care of yourself takes effort. And if it's not the top 3 of your priorities, I personally don't work with those individuals if your health is not one of the top 3 priorities of your life, because it takes effort, it takes a lot of introspection, it takes effort to actually do fitness.
You work with a lot of Gen Zs, you've trained Gen Zs and older people also. You've trained people from a lot of age group, right? Like your spectrum of age with people is quite dynamic. Where's the difference between a Gen Z person training? Are they taking fitness because of the mirror and social media, or are they taking fitness because they actually know that this is the long game, or they're confused right now?
So every time you stray away from movement, your body will tell you that there is something that is not right with it. So a lot of Gen Zs are noticing that now. So it's now that they're getting older, they're realizing that there is a disconnect. Every time there's a misalignment, right, in your body, in your mind, you'll come to know. Like you will feel some level of uneasiness. So I feel like now a lot of Gen Zs are feeling that, and they're not able to figure out what exactly is not working for them. And the fact that you're not working out is a big sign. Every human needs to work out. If you don't work out, you're going to have a misalignment with your body.
And how important is food in this entire setting?
Very important, because
in your priority list, for example, workout, meditation, therapy, saunas, and all the kind of therapies and massages that are available, where does food come in this?
It's all a part of one package. Like you cannot separate each from each other. Like they go hand in hand. You know?
So somebody who's working out really well but not eating right food is not going to help, and somebody who's eating the best food and not working out and moving that much is not going to help or get desired results.
Again, I keep asking, what is the reason that both of them are not going hand in hand? What is the reason why we have to say one is important or more important than the other, or less important than the other? Training, recovery, food, they go hand in hand. All of these pillars need to be balanced out. And ignore why. Again, if it is in your priority list, fitness is in your priority list, then you will respect all the pillars of fitness, which is training, recovery, and nutrition.
You know, there's so many posts coming that the Gen Z is not drinking now.
Yeah.
Like people are
I'm very happy about that.
People are going to bhajan raves and bhajan parties and going for coffee raves.
Yeah.
And there are so many run clubs that are coming.
Yeah.
You think there's a movement happening in the health space?
There definitely is, yeah. There's a movement happening in the health space, but also now in the recovery space, because now people are also doing health a bit wrong, right? When you overdo fitness, you don't take care of recovery, you don't take care of nutrition, and you're just training, then you also need to pay attention to your recovery, because as the fitness industry is booming, so is the injury industry. So, which is why I think my business model is successful, is because I treat a lot of injured people. So I treat a lot
of overtraining.
Because of overtraining, training wrong.
Maulika, over the years we've seen, I don't want to call them fads or trends, but there was these waves of these fitness plans that came. There was CrossFit, and people went berserk over CrossFit. Then they had some injuries, and then they had some issues. Then now people don't do CrossFit that much. And then now there's High Rocks. Is this evolution or is it trend?
It just, now again, we are in a society which gets bored very easily. We have a very short attention span. So I think we enjoy doing different things. So things come in waves, people enjoy the movement, they go away.
Are they sustainable for the human body?
See, there will be a point where you do any kind of training, it causes wear and tear. So if you do repeated training, right, like for example, if you keep doing boxing, there will come a time where there is going to be your rotator cuff, your elbows, your shoulders, it is going to pay a price. It is general wear and tear, right?
Same with training?
Same with any kind of training, which is why you need to make sure that you're also doing rehab training when you do all of this. When you do anything high impact, like when you run a marathon, you have to prep your knees and ankles, or when you do combat, you have to prep your shoulders, elbows, other joints. Similarly, you pick up any high intensity sport, you will only be able to sustain it if you have your rehab work in place, or rather prehab work, preventive injury training.
Are today's workout plans or regimes or routines that we call it, are they sustainable or are we missing something? I think you rightly said that recovery part is missing, rehab part is missing. Is there anything else that we are missing in today's day and age in terms of workout plans?
I do see a lot of people neglecting the injury prevention part of it, but the funny thing about an injury plan is that you only do it once you get an injury. You will only be interested in rehab and prehab kind of training once you are injured, and then you see the value of it.
How do we prevent injury?
You prevent injury by doing prehab training, by making sure that you're training all the joints that are involved in the sport you're playing.
Give me an example. So let's say I play a sport, or rather I work out normally in the gym.
Okay.
What should I be careful about? What is a hack that I can use to not get injury later?
Okay, so now sir, if you're somebody who sits for long periods of time, you have to know that the blood circulation that you're getting in your glutes, your core is poor. So before you start your training, you have to give some time to making sure that your core and your glutes are activated, so that when you do a movement like a squat, you are using the right muscles. Because your body can do a movement, right? You can do a movement, but it will not, you can do the movement without using the right muscles for it. Because your body overcompensates. If one thing is not working, it will make sure that the task or the movement is being done, but it will use other muscles to compensate for it.
Got it.
So the lower back is often overcompensating for lack of glute strength, lack of core strength. So if somebody who sits a lot, I would say that do an intensive warm up. Make sure that your core and glutes are nicely activated, your hamstrings are opened up before you get into a workout. Or if you are somebody who does a lot of racket sports like tennis, paddle, or smashing sports or punching sports, then your rotator cuff is going to get unstable. So you have to train your rotator cuff. If you're running a marathon or you're doing sprinting, you have to do rehab for your knees.
So this is for prevention, right?
This is for prevention, but often it's funny, right? The prevention part only comes into the picture as a rehab part, because you only pay attention to this kind of training once you get injured. So, but I guess it's the journey, yeah. Like even I got into rehab and injury prevention when I started noticing that my muscles are getting overworked, and if I don't do something about it, I am going to get an injury. And because I cannot allow myself to stop training for my mental health, I have to make sure that my body sustains training, and for that I have to make sure that I never get injured, and for that I have to do my rehab training.
Yeah. So we've understood, Maulika, training is important, movement is important, understanding the right workouts are important, rehab is important, how to get not injured is important, and also after you injured, how recovery is important. How important is fuel, which is food, during workouts? And not during workouts, I mean to say when an individual is working out, is their diet different than a person who's not working out? Because today what I see is protein everywhere. Is that understood correctly? Is there an amount of protein that someone needs to have who's working out versus person who's not working out? And the importance of general nutrition, right?
So protein is extremely important, and I have not met anyone who overconsumes protein. Okay, everyone's only under consuming protein. So most people, even if you're working out, don't consume enough protein, let alone the people who don't work out. People who don't work out barely even pay attention to their protein intake. Protein, I think in India is still like not, because we are a very highly vegetarian society, protein intake is very less. People don't get enough protein, and because you don't get enough protein, protein is responsible for making you feel satiated. It makes you feel satiated. So if you're not getting enough protein, you are going to crave for sugar. You are going to want to fill the calories that you're not getting from protein from another macronutrient, and most preferred macronutrient is carbohydrates and sugar. So because you consume less protein, you do end up over consuming sugar. And the characteristic of sugar is the fact that it is addictive in nature. So here you're replacing something that gives you high satiety and multiple health benefits with something with very low satiety and no health benefits.
And addictive in nature.
And addictive in nature. So when you're burnt out or you're feeling like you're about to be burnt out, you should focus a lot on breath work. When you say training or not training, we are not just talking about weight training and intense training. You can also train your mind, you can also train your lungs. All of this is part of training. So if you find that your nervous system is on an overdrive, which tends to happen a lot for me as well, I will swim, I'll do breath work, I'll do mobility work. So all of this just helps my body relax, and as a result my mind relaxes as well. If you don't move when you're burnt out, it's not going to help you either, unless you're like sleeping and recovering.
So move, but lesser, focus more on breath work. If you're getting burnt out, if you're tired, no need to hit the gym at the same intensity and overtrain.
Yeah. Like a lot of people think like training is just about weight training, but training is a huge spectrum. Like I said, you can train your lungs, you can train your brain, you can train your fascia, you can train your joints, you can train your heart, you can train other parts of your body. It does not have to be muscle. So I would say at least twice a week try to train your muscles. Once a week try to train your joints, which is mobility work. Once a week try to train your heart, which is like swim, something cardio based. And once a week you can do massages, you can do physiotherapy, you can do breath work, something a little for recovery.
But so that's every day doing something.
That's 4 days a week, at least, minimum.
What's a bare minimum?
4 days a week is a bare minimum.
4 days a week to do something is a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the one food mistake today people are making?
Not being mindful about their eating. If you're not mindful about the food you eat and the effect that food has on you, you are going to keep making decisions that are going to give you quick pleasure but not results. So
give me an example.
Like if you don't think about what a beer does to your body, or what alcohol does to your body, or extremely dirty fried food does to your body, then it's just good taste, right? You're just going to be like, wow, this is tasty, this gives me a good buzz, and you're going to keep consuming it. But once you just sit with yourself and you notice that the effect that this food has onto your body, you will be repulsed by bad food. I'm repulsed by sugar. People ask me like, are you not tempted to eat? And I feel, why would I be tempted to eat something that is destroying my body? What type of temptation is this? And I'm not that type of a hedonistic person. I refuse to accept that I am that person, and I really push my clients to understand that you cannot accept such a low standard for yourself, where you do not practice willpower, where you do not practice self-control, and you just give into quick pleasures. Like that's not a life that I would recommend anyone to live.
So you think your repulsion for sugar comes from knowledge? Because a lot of people who don't get repulsed by, bad things about sugar, hence you're repulsed.
I am repulsed by sugar because I notice the impact that any external thing has on me, my biology and my psychology. So that is not just related to food, but related to people, related to anything that I put my time in. If I sit with myself and I notice what is my body feeling when I'm doing this, what is my body feeling when I'm doing this? What is my body feeling when I'm doing this? And I notice those patterns and I try to make the best decision for myself. So this is only because, not because of too much knowledge that I have, but simply because I put a lot of effort into myself and I notice patterns that work for me and that don't.